Ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to announce the gentleman who took all his efforts to change his personal agenda, and the agenda is in our interest, country interest, but still, he had a very busy agenda and he made space into it to be today here to give you a message. Please welcome the Vice President of Suriname.
Participants, पंडितगण, आप सब जो यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन में आप सबों को हार्दिक से नमस्ते। Please, I would like to take this opportunity to make a short comment, a personal word. आपके मालूम हो कि कुछ घंटे व्यतीत हुआ है आज सवेरे मैं वापस आया हूँ न्यूयॉर्क से, जहाँ पर मैं यूनाइटेड नेशंस का सम्मेलन में भाग लेकर के वहाँ पर सूरीनाम का संदेश प्रस्तुत करके और वापस आए हैं, ख़ास करके इसके लिए ताकि मुझे ये अवसर प्राप्त हो सके इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन में भाग लेने के लिए। मुझे और भी हमारे धर्म पत्नी को यह अवसर भी प्राप्त हुआ है, मिस्टर ओबामा प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, उनसे भेंट करने के लिए, कुछ बातचीत करने के लिए। और अगर जब मुझे भी ये अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है यूनाइटेड नेशंस में भाषण देने के लिए कि जहाँ पर 190 देश के प्रेसिडेंट्स, मिनिस्टर ऑफ फॉरेन अफेयर्स इत्यादि वहाँ पर उपस्थित रहें, तो अगर जो मुझे अवसर प्राप्त हुआ है तो इसके लिए हमें आर्य दिवाकर को धन्यवाद कहना चाहिए। और इसके लिए क्योंकि 8 से अगर जो हम 80 जन्म गांठ या जयंती मना रहे हैं आर्य दिवाकर का, तो आपके मालूम हो कि हमारा भाई जी भगवान दीन जो यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं, उनके साथ 8 से 60 साल से ज़्यादा हम यहाँ पर आर्य दिवाकर के स्कूल में स्वर और व्यंजन का ज्ञान प्राप्त किया है। अ, आ, इ, उ, क, ख, ग, घ। और मुझे भी ये गर्व है कि अगर जब मैं देखा कि हमारा बेटी माय डॉटर डॉक्टर आंदोस मालती जी ने यहाँ पर जेंडर के विषय में अपना विचार प्रस्तुत किया है और आप थालियां बजा करके उनकी इज्जत दिए हैं, तो हमारा छाती बड़ा होगा। भाइयों देवियों, इसलिए कि ये सम्मेलन जो आप स्थापित किए हैं यहाँ पर, ये एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समस्या है कि जहाँ पर देश देशांतर से लोग आए हुए हैं, और जहाँ तक मुझे बताया गया है कि ये उद्देश्य है कि इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का भाषण इत्यादि जो है इसको बुक में लिख करके और प्रचार हम करेंगे। और इसके लिए कि हमारा विचार जो हम रख ले हैं, वे लोग जो दूसरे देश यहाँ पर आए हैं, ताकि उन लोगों को भी ये ज्ञान प्राप्त हो सके, तो मैं अपना भाषण जो है इंग्लिश भाषा में यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत करेंगे। इसके लिए आपसे क्षमा प्रदान चाहता हूँ। Ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure I will fulfill my task at this international conference in presenting my view on the subject code of ethics in politics in the light of the contribution of the Vedas. हमसे आग्रह किया गया है कि मैं पॉलिटिक के विषय यहाँ पर कुछ कहूँ। आपको मालूम हो कि मैं यहाँ पार्टी पॉलिटिक के विषय में कुछ नहीं कहूँगा in general. With regard to this matter, it is of great importance to look into the characteristics of politics in diverse aspects in Western civilization and in the ancient cultures in the East, including principles and the teachings of the Vedic scriptures, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Ramayana, the Gita, and so on. The word politics is derived from the Greek word polis, meaning state or city. Politikos describes anything concerning state or city affairs. In Latin, the word used for this is politicus, and in French, politique. In Hindi, politics is referred to as niti, while a number of smritis also exist. The most authoritative one is the Manu Smriti, the Smriti of Manu. In general, politics is an essential means by which collective goals can be achieved through peaceful cooperation. Specifically, the term describes activities associated with governments and state. The state serves the purpose of managing conflicts and imposing solutions that are binding for all individuals and groups subject to its authority. To be viable, a state must enjoy unchallenged authority over a particular territory and population. Politics encompasses all decisions and measures of all conflicts among human beings over the allocation of power, wealth, or prestige when interests are pursued by means other than the use of physical violence. The purpose is that individual well-being, prosperity, and social harmony will be fostered by as much liberty as possible. Traditionally, normative ethics was the study of what makes among actions right and wrong. This theory is offered an overarching moral principle to which one could appeal in resolving difficult moral discussions. Except for the natural attitude of mankind, the environment and the relevant social order are also playing a dominant role in the judgment of right and wrong. At this point, the ruling religious philosophy of life has an important meaning. The Bible, the Quran, the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and others are laying a foundation of the philosophies of life in which the criteria for determining the code of ethics are indicated. Nevertheless, a rising secularization, waarover meneer Dewaker nog gesproken heeft, a distancy of the essential religious regulations is observed in many societies. The public opinion is essential in these cases. Usually, it is the opinion of an individual and or the view of a selected group which is supported by many others. With respect to the current subject, it is important to pay attention to the standards as the relevance of law, truth, integrity, reliability, equality. This is a subject whereabout my daughter had spoken a few time ago, and so on, and its background. The Manusmriti states that law alone is the real king, the dispenser of justice, the disciplinary. The law is considered as the surety of the four classes in order to discharge their respective duties properly. The law alone is the true governor that maintains order among the people. The law alone. Great is the power and majesty of the law. ये मनुस्मृति का संदेश है law के विषय में. At present, centuries after the presentation of these concepts of Manu, law and justice are still the foundation of society. An independent nation has a constitution and different forms of rules. The government is based on legal rules which are determined by the representatives of the nations. The principles of constitutional state and democracy are aimed for. The antecedents of Western politics can trace to their roots back to Plato and Aristotle from Greeks, the founders of the Western civilization, who stated that reason and wisdom should govern. A king that governs must love the side of truth, satya, and must support the idea, this analogy of a captain and his ship, or a doctor and his medicine. The ethical code of good governance, as emphasized by Plato, bears resemblance with principles of the Yajurveda, Vacha Satya Dharmasya, which means the truth must always resound in the voice. आपकी आवाज में सत्य का जो है लक्षण उसको दिखाना बहुत आवश्यकता है. ये यजुर्वेद का संदेश. The Mahabharata also accentuates the principle of the truth. Satyam Swargasya Sopanam. The truth is the ladder to heaven, while universally known as the Vedic statement Satyameva Jayate, meaning the truth shall always overcome. The principle of equality has been a serious matter of dispute. The principle of unity, equality, and fraternity has been an important slogan during the French Revolution more than 200 years ago, while the American Constitution confirmed its principle as a main foundation of the society. Yet this month, during the 64th General Assembly of the United Nations, the principle of equality has been under discussion. De bijdrage van president Obama tijdens de algemene vergadering van de Verenigde Naties een paar dagen geleden had onder meer tot een van de kernpunten peace. Peace is shanti. Shanti in de huizen van de mensen, shanti daar waar zij wonen, shanti in het land en shanti in de wereld. Those are also the goals of Arya Samaj. The implementation of the principle of equality has always led to struggle. The struggle for equal rights for men and women, the struggle for equal chance in education, the struggle for equal possibilities in health care, the struggle for equal rights and possibilities for widows and orphans. But there has also been struggle against oppression and for obtaining an independent status as a nation. Regarding the social issues, the Arya Samaj conducts excellent tasks, while Swami Dayanand took the initiative for the struggle against colonialism and Swaraj, an independent status of nations. In the Rig Veda or the Upanishads, and particularly in the Bhagavad Gita, the ideal of equality, both social, economic, and gender, are fundamental. Following these sacred texts of Hindu religion, Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism subsequently have considered equality as the essential part of their religious doctrines. The Bhagavad Gita states with respect to this matter, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshu asti na priya. Bhagavan Krishna says, I look upon all creatures equally. None is less dear to me, none more dear. Chapter 9, verse 29. All those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, sex, or caste, will attain the supreme goal. This realization can be attained even by those whom society scorns. Kings and sages too seek this goal with devotion. About reliability. With regard to the sense of reliability, it can firmly be defined as the ability of a person or system to perform and maintain its functions in routine circumstances as well as hostile or unexpected situations. Reliability is one of the essential principles for good realization between people, for the maintenance of business relations, and for the performance of social connections. For a proper functioning of the society, the value given to a promise is essential and determinative for ethical norms. This norm is described in a striking way in the Ramayana, Raghukul Reed Sadachaliyai Pranajai Bahu Paruntu Bachananajai. This indicates that a promise or given word will always be fulfilled, even if one has to sacrifice his life for it. Dharma and adharma. One of the previous speakers has mentioned a lot of ideas on the subject. What I can add is also known from the history is the philosophy of the end justifies the means. In this regard, we can take Chanakya as an example. Chanakya is regarded as one of the earliest political thinkers and is also known as the Indian Machiavelli. He wrote the Arthashastra, a treatise on political thought, economics, and social order, which can be considered a precursor to Machiavelli's The Prince. Chanakya stated that everyone owes a duty to the society by removing noxious things, even a king, if the king adopted adharma. Sri Aurobindo has explained in Life Defined that the principal contradiction of human life is that between the individual and society or aggregate. The essence of ideal law of human development demands that the individual should harmonize his life with the life of the social aggregate. Individualism, the ideal of Western culture, propagated by capitalism and the globalization process, does not correspond to the ideal view of life according to this universal law of nature. Thus, according to Aurobindo, fundamental ideas of Hinduism are the same of those of integral humanism, a system of non-capitalistic nature based upon religion, as Monsieur Becker also said. The economic ideology of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo, who have expressed in modern language the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and the Vedas, call for a harmonious, caring social model where the state will take care of every aspect of the welfare of the people and will not reject anyone who may feel a defaulting act. Some other ethical issues can be considered, such as justification for using force, race, loss of capability due to race bias or abuse, gender equality, loss of capability due to gender bias or abuse, age discrimination, authority based upon age instead of accomplishment or productivity, nepotism, unfair control by family members, also known as empire building, political influence, having a political position or political influence, current issues. Applied ethics is used in some aspects of determining public policy. The sort of questions addressed by applied ethics include: is getting an abortion immoral? Is euthanasia immoral? Is affirmative action right or wrong? What are human rights and how do we determine them? Code of ethics should be adhered to by the whole society, including politicians, servants, civil servants, as well as entities from the private sector and members of the whole society. The relative strength of the existing law must be executed and other measures must be taken to promote integrity, transparency, and accountability to the citizens. About methods. There are many methods used throughout history of promoting political opinions, and with the development of new technologies, new ways have materialized both in recent and ancient history. Throughout history, one of the most influential methods of promoting political opinions has been literacy. This peculiar pattern of books influencing the thinking of the masses is reinstated with such books as the Bible, the Quran, and the Vedic scripture. Many authors have been attributed to many of the characteristics of writing. While it has been proven that a well-written book can indeed appeal to one's intellect with reasoning and an idea sprung from common sense, the drive of literature and writing is most commonly considered to be derivative of the emotional impact of the text, guiding people to think a certain way by making them feel a certain way. This often has great political consequences, especially when the subject of the emotional reaction is play for moral injustice. Since their development in this past century, both television and films have often had far-reaching political effects throughout the world. Like literature, a movie or television event has the capacity to have emotional impact on its viewers, making it an invaluable tool for politics. This attribute is noticed and used frequently by politicians and ordinary citizens alike. Political propaganda on the screen now has an effect on everything, from a nation's outlook on a great number of subjects to the smallest of elections and political decisions. The potential for influence is extremely high with the publication of newspapers and news broadcasts. With the recent invention of the internet, political criticism has been greatly extended to anyone with a connection to the World Wide Web. In a few decades already, this has revolutionized politics to the extent that the public now has a virtually unlimited education, quite literally at its fingertips, allowing people to choose with less effort what aspects of current politics they wish to research. Concluding. In concluding, the following can be determined. Man and society give meaning to the code of ethics in politics. The teaching of the Bible, Quran, the Vedas, the Gita, the Ramayana, and other holy scriptures give the essential criteria for what is good and what needs to refrain from. The principle, ekang sadavipra bahulah vadanti agni yamang matarishman. Rigved, meaning there is only one supreme being. The learned refer to him with different names and methods. This gives us a foundation with universal implications for the code of ethics and for all humanity. Concerning the government of the state in its diverse aspects, the direction is given by multilateral organizations. In this regard, we can refer to the Charter of the United Nations. With respect to the specific communities, the constitutions or other relevant acts are given meaning to the code of ethics. The Surinamese constitution has specific provisions uplifting the specifications of the code of ethics. Reference can be made to the consideration included in the preamble of the constitutions, such as determined to collaborate with one another and with all people of the world on the basis of freedom, equality, peaceful coexistence, and international solidarity. Further, assured of the will to determine our economic, social, and cultural development and full freedom, convinced of our duty to honor and to guarantee the principles of freedom, equality, and democracy, as well as the fundamental rights and freedoms of man. At last, ladies and gentlemen, can be concluded that the main goal of politics everywhere, and all of us, can be the principle of manur bhava, such as that Rigved preaches. The well-being of mankind, and the method, satyameva jayate, the truth shall overcome. Thank you very much.
Dank u wel, heer vicepresident, voor uw boodschap. We hebben goede nota van genomen en wij zijn ervan overtuigd dat we er heel veel aan zullen hebben. Nogmaals, onze dank. Dames en heren, u heeft genoeg geluisterd en we nemen aan dat u ook flink van hebt opgestoken.